Coming Tuesday is what's known as Giving Tuesday. It's probably one of the biggest fundraising days of the year. And so we wanted to give a little segment to this show just to talk about Giving Tuesday and some of the organizations that we wanted to give a little shout out. So Mr. Well Traveled, how about you start? And who do you want to highlight today for Giving Tuesday?
Yeah, so I have two organizations that I've recently learned about. So one, I've already mentioned, the Debbie Allen Dance Academy. It's a nonprofit organization. And so I really appreciated the mission of the organization and how it helps to uplift young people through dance and the arts. And you know, sometimes it can look a little, I think to people on the outside, it can look like sometimes that those types of things are very superficial, right? Just dancing or just singing. But really, it's about community building. And really, it's about giving children a creative outlet that they otherwise would not have. And also allowing them to pursue their passion in a professional way and start from a very early age. And they talk about in the Netflix documentary how hard that is for the children, but then how it sets them up actually for whatever they choose to do in life, because it's like a young athlete, right? There's a level of commitment and of time in particular that they have to dedicate to that. And you have to be very disciplined, and you get hurt. It's not easy. There's a lot of disappointment. And so if you start at such a young age, many of them starting at 8 years old and then going into adulthood, they are prepared to be able to do a lot of things outside of that because they've dealt with a lot of the challenges that come with trying to be a professional at a very young age. And so I thought, you know, this is the kind of organization that I want to be able to support. And so that's one that I really, really liked. And I hope other people will consider the Debbie Allen Dance Academy as their Giving Tuesday nonprofit. But if you're looking for something a bit more academic, there's another organization that was recently launched this year. And it is the Center for Anti-Racist Research at Boston University, founded by Ibram X. Kendi. So you probably have heard the name because he has a very, very popular book that became even more popular this year called How to Be an Anti-Racist. And everyone who makes lists, like DJ Prime suggested we make, has said that that's the #1 book you should read. And now he has founded this center, received some grant money. And I think this type of research is going to be particularly valuable for the future. And this organization has a mission of helping to shape and build an anti-racist society. And that is what we should all be leaning into. I don't know of any other research center with this mission. And so also for Giving Tuesday, if you are looking for a unique organization to donate to, I think that's the one.
Excellent. DJ Prime, you got any Giving Tuesday nonprofits you want to give a little shout out to?
Off the top of my head, I do not. So for me, Giving Tuesday is something I've been aware of, but I haven't been as participatory in, right? I think this is a good year for me to flip the script on that and to actually participate and to actually kind of go heavy on doing some donations, but then also learning more about like local nonprofits in my area that I can, you know, donate money to, but also maybe there's ways I can participate, add value to. So, you know, I think for me, the responsibility is now is to do the research and to go in depth and find some good nonprofits to donate to. But what I will do is I will look into the two that Mr. Well Travel just suggested, and I'll probably look into the ones that you suggest as well. And I'll see if I can find some money in my pocketbook to donate to them to see if I can help push the mission forward.
Excellent. Well, you bring up a good point. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Well Travel.
So I just wanted to ask a question, DJ Prime. Do you have employer matching funds that you can access through your employer? Did we lose Prime?
I bet you do. I think he's thinking.
Yeah, I didn't do. No, I was thinking. I think that I do. I have donated through our program, our internal. I think it's the Giving program in the past. But I have to double check on that. What is that something you suggest doing? You think that going through corporate donations for matching is like the move?
Yeah, because it can maximize your funds. You know, so. Mm-hmm. for every, I don't know how they do it at your job, but I know at my job, we have up to a certain amount, and you can basically, double your contribution. And if you want to double it for a single organization, or if you want to increase the amount for multiple organizations, you have the option of being able to do that. And I think that that's a pretty cool thing when you think about, especially the need right now. There's so much need. Yeah. And for those of us in corporate environments, that's a benefit. To be honest, I didn't take advantage of that last year, and I should have. So I've been thinking a lot more about it, thanks to Connor, actually, what he and his wife did over the summer, where they used matching funds to donate to the NAACP after doing their own fundraiser. So that's the only reason I asked that, is as you're thinking about what organization you want to donate to, certainly you can make a direct donation, but the employer matching funds are also really helpful too.
That's an awesome suggestion. I guess that, for a lot of people, that should be part of the playbook that they kind of follow for doing donations, and specifically for Giving Tuesday. So I appreciate that, and I will look into it. I'm taking a note real quick.
I had a friend on Facebook, and she was like, I'm going to match anybody's donations up to $1,500. You just have to take a screenshot of your donation and post it here, and I'll match it. And I was one of the things that sparked, like, I need to start thinking about this, because I know when I make my donation, whether on Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to go back and post it there, because increasing the impact is always good. And jumping on what you said, Prime, about like doing the research and some of the activities, Giving Tuesday is always about donations, but I think this year it's more important than ever that like Giving Tuesday shouldn't just be about making a financial contribution to your community in whatever way, but there's like so many other ways to give right now that brings some type of joy or happiness to people. And I was looking on the Giving Tuesday website, and they're the ones who kind of brought that to my attention to begin with, right? They said just posting a message of hope, whether on your social media or writing a letter to somebody, obviously creating a donation, reaching out to the elderly, showing some type of gratitude towards essential workers, paying for a stranger's meal in the Starbucks line, surprising somebody with a parade or a special message, checking in on the friends or the people that you haven't checked in a while, using your voice, complimenting random strangers, and offering to help in different ways in your neighborhood. And so there's so many different ways to give back to your community that I think it's important. It's like, it doesn't need to be a financial commitment, and it doesn't always need to be this Tuesday, right? There's probably something we should be thinking of, like on a daily, weekly, monthly basis for all of us to our communities. But the two organizations that I wanted to shout out with, first, I'm going to start with the Seattle Parks Foundation. And they are a nonprofit here in Seattle that help advocate and support open green spaces. So that big park where Mohi is in South Lake Union, like they were some of the initiators who started building that big park there on Lake Union. And they started as part of the city, and then they broke off from the city and became their own independent nonprofit. And they kind of came on my radar this year because having access to these open spaces in the city has become extremely important this year, right? With having limited access to really do anything or socialize. And I spent so much time this year walking around Seattle and exploring all these different parks because it's the only outdoor space that we have access to. And so I thought they deserved a little shout out today. And the other one is the Chief Seattle Club. They are a local nonprofit. They say they're a human service agency, and I wanted to read specifically what they are. They're dedicated to the physical and spiritually supporting American Indian and Alaska Native people. And they have a day center in Pioneer Square where they provide food, primary health care, housing assistance, an urban Indian legal clinic, a native art job training program, and frequent outings for their members. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving and honoring the original people of America, I thought that they deserve some credit and just a shout out here on the show as well. And they are going to be an organization that I am choosing to give to this year.
So I like that. Let's make sure when we post this that we put links to those orgs in there, because I think